In this video, we are going to talk about what happens when you have Venus into the sign of Cancer through the Nakshatra of Punarvasu, Pushya, Ashlesha and all the padas. So keep watching. Namaste and welcome to Vedic Astrology channel. I'm your host Prasad Mahazani. Help you raise your vibrations and become your true self with the help of Vedic Astrology. If you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. You will be getting Vedic astrological videos just like this one, and these videos will help you learn Vedic astrology step by step. This video will be in several parts. In the first part, we will talk about Venus as a planet. Then we will talk about Cancer as a sign. Then we will learn about the Venus through the nakshatras of the Cancer like Punarvasu, Pushya and Ashlesha. And then in the next part, we will talk about Venus through the sign of Cancer. And I'll be putting the timestamps into the description section. If you want to jump to any of these sections, you can directly go in there. Okay, let's get started. What is the planet Venus? We have already made a separate video on the planet Venus. The first thing which comes to my mind when I think of planet Venus is femininity. Venus is all about femininity, love, sensitivity, receptivity, and femininity has nothing to do with you being male or female. We all have Mars, we all have Venus. So we all have both the elements. But Venus represents that feminine side which is present in all of us. Venus is the planet which represents relationship, love, beauty, marriage, sex, art, and comfort, luxuries, beauty products, cooperation, and all sorts of things which are relationship oriented, which requires involvement of other person. It also represents appreciation of the beauty. It is also the signification of the art itself, along with all the products of art. Like Venus is also the natural karaka for relationship, and in man's chart it is all about your wife, and it represents the quality of the relationship, how a person look at the relationship, how a person experience relationship can be seen with Venus. Now let us talk about the sign of Cancer. The sign of Cancer is ruled by moon. So it has all the significations of the moon, of nurturing, privacy, shyness, about the feelings, emotions, desirous nature. All these can be seen with this, and it is your home environment. It represents your mother. So now the sign of Cancer has all these significations. The sign of Cancer is nurturing, represents motherly love, and all that is lunarian realm. We can experience that through the sign of Cancer. The sign of Cancer is one of the cardinal signs. Cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. The cardinal signs are also known as Chara sign, which represents the movement. The Chara signs bring in the movement in the planets placed into this sign with respect to the houses they own, and or the karakas placed into this sign. They bring in the movement. Okay, and they are all about the change. And when it comes to the sign of Cancer, it is the change about your emotional foundation. Okay, next, the sign of Cancer is a water element sign. We have 3 water element signs. By the way, we have 12 signs. We have 4 elements. We don't consider either. We consider earth, we consider fire, earth, air and water. Okay, so we have 12 rashis and we have 4 elements. Each element has 3 rashis. So water element rashis are 4, 8, 12. By the way, each element rashis are always in trine. Okay, we have made a separate video on all the elements. Go and watch the 5 element series as well as a different element series. I will put a link into the description section. The Cancer is a water element sign. Water element signs are intuitive and emotional. So Cancer is an intuitive sign and emotional sign which can understand other people's emotions and can connect with that and can provide that motherly love to them. Next, the sign of Cancer has 4 nakshatras. The first nakshatra into the area of Cancer is Punarvasu nakshatra. We have only one pada of Punarvasu nakshatra into the sign of Cancer. The rest of the padas, the first 3 padas comes into the sign of Gemini. So we have Punarvasu nakshatra fourth pada into the sign of Cancer. Okay, and the pada is into the Cancer Navamansha. So if you have any planet into the first 3.5 degrees, 3 degrees 20 minutes into the sign of Cancer, it becomes Vargottama. So it goes into the Cancer sign, into the D9 as well. Now here, when it goes into the Vargottama state, it works at its highest level. It gives you the best of its results. It starts working on a higher plane, and you can experience all the positive traits of this Venus. The next nakshatra is Pushya nakshatra. We have 4 padas of Pushya nakshatra into the sign of Cancer. The first pada of Pushya nakshatra goes into Leo Navamansha. When we have Venus in here, this Venus becomes, more of an Venus which enjoys life, which enjoys, the luxuries and all sorts of things which are connected with the sign of Leo. The second pada of the Pushya Navamansha, second pada of the Pushya nakshatra goes into the Virgo Navamansha. Here, this Venus gets debilitated into the Navamansha, and it can bring in the challenges. These people can be involved into a relationship where they will be too much calculative about love. Love is not about calculation, what you will get, what you won't get. It's not about love. That's why Venus gets debilitated into the calculative and analytical sign of Virgo. Venus or love is blind. That's why it gets exalted into the sign of Pisces, which is all about universal love. Okay, so in the second pada, Venus gets debilitated into the Navamansha. Third pada of the Pushya nakshatra goes into the Libra Navamansha. Here, Venus loves to be into the Libra Navamansha. Here, this operates at its highest level with, all the social capabilities. These people are able to connect with people, and these people are also aware and conscious about their social responsibilities as well. The fourth pada of the Pushya nakshatra goes into the sign of Scorpio. So now you have Venus into the sign of Cancer, into the Pushya nakshatra, into the fourth pada, it goes into the Scorpio Navamansha. Now this Venus becomes passionate. It has that intense energy of Scorpio. The only thing these people have to take care of is jealousy. They have to, should not get involved into any kind of low dense feelings like jealousy. Otherwise, this placement will bring in the intense energy into the relationship. Next, the next nakshatra into the sign of Cancer is Ashlesha nakshatra. The dasha ruler of Ashlesha nakshatra is Mercury. The first pada of the Ashlesha nakshatra goes into the sign of Sagittarius. Now here, Venus goes into the sign of Jupiter, into the D9, which is, not a great friend of Venus, but is into the fire element sign. So it is great for the creative pursuits. Next, the second pada of Ashlesha nakshatra goes into the sign of Capricorn in D9. Here, Venus goes into its friend Saturn's Navamsha. Though Capricorn is a practical and hardworking sign, Venus, I won't say love to be into this sign, but Venus does a fair job into the sign of Capricorn, as against into the sign of Virgo, the other earth element sign, where it gets debilitated. Venus doesn't want to get practical. Venus wants to be into the dream world, want to be into the watery signs where they will always be into that romantic world. That's why Venus loves Pisces. Next is the third pada of the Ashlesha Nakshatra goes into the sign of Aquarius Navamsha. Here, these people have the highest awareness and consciousness about their social responsibilities towards the society as a whole. Like, these are the people who will, protest. These are the people who will always come up and will support or rally their support if they believe in certain social norms, or if they believe or support anything, if they are convinced about something. So they won't hesitate to rally their support to any social cause. Next is the fourth pada of the Ashlesha Nakshatra goes into the sign of Pisces. Now here Venus loves to be into this sign, because now Venus gets exalted into the D9 chart, and which is all about universal love. Now this Venus will always talk about universal love, will always connect with people, will always be compassionate towards others, and will do great job into the artistic pursuits. Now let us talk about the planet Venus into the sign of Cancer. The planet of love comes into the sign of love. Okay, Venus is the planet of love. Venus is a romantic love, but it has the element of compassion, which resonates well with the motherly love of Cancer. So these people are great at loving. Sounds weird, but yes, these people have a natural tendency to love other people. They have that motherly love for almost everybody. The planet of love, romance, a marriage, relationship comes into the sign of emotions, desires. Now these people, person with the Venus into the sign of Cancer, is great at all the Venusian significations. Now the planet of love comes into the sign of emotions. So these people have that well developed emotions about loving others. They have the compassion for everybody. They know how to love. They have that emotional bonding with other people. Planet of arts and beauty and all those things comes into the sign which is all about fluctuation. And what is a fluctuation? You can also consider fluctuation as a rhythm. So the planet of art comes into the sign of rhythm. So these people have a great sense of music. A person with the Venus in the sign of Cancer will be great at understanding music. Okay, so yes, these are the few of the signification of Venus into the sign of Cancer, but don't limit yourself to just these combinations. Try and compare the signification of Venus with the Cancer, and you will come up with your own significations, which will be even more valuable, and you can use them in your interpretations. What if this Venus is retrograde in your chart? When Venus goes retrograde into the sign of Cancer, what it shows is now it is internalizing this otherwise emotional love. So this makes these people very sensitive. Now if these people get hurt in love, they will take that burden for longer period of time. They cannot get away with it quickly, because now that deep emotional nature is internalizing, so it becomes so intense, so it becomes difficult for them to overcome any kind of rejection or coming out of any relationship. But at the same time, these people will love you to the core, but they will not be able to communicate you how much they love you until the time comes where they have to rise to the occasion, and then you will realize, wow, this person was loving me so much and I ignored them throughout my life, or for the so many years. You will have that happy realization about the person with Cancer in the Venus sign. Venus in the Cancer sign. I'm sorry. Okay. So yes, this was Venus into the sign of Cancer, as much as I could hold, grasp and share with you guys. If you want to dive deep into Vedic astrology, these two videos on your screen, just go and watch them. These will help you to go further faster into the world of Vedic astrology, sending you tons of positive energy, sending you high vibes. See you in the next videos. Love and peace.